Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of Two-Day Mag's Ask Two-Day Mag. This is our Q&A for anybody dealing with questions on love, sex, romance, the whole shebang. My name is Natalie, and I am your host, and in a few minutes you will be meeting my co-host, the handsome John. Our first question of the day comes from Tim, who writes, Dear Two-Day Mag, I just met a great girl and we exchanged numbers. I really want to call her and ask her on a date, but I am worried about the 3-date rule. I don't want to come off as a stalker. What should I do? Tim. Well, Tim, this is a very valid point because I've dealt with stalkers. I know girlfriends that have dealt with stalkers. Guys can be a little creepy, and not every girl wants to deal with it. Having said that, there are a lot of wonderful men out there, and ladies, if a guy likes you and he calls you the next day, that doesn't make him a stalker. That just makes him interested. This is a good thing. So, Tim, my advice to you would be call her, dial that phone, give her a ring. Do not text her. I can't stand it when guys text me if they want to ask me out on a date. If you want to date me, you can call me if you're brave enough. Now let's see what John has to say on this. John?
Thanks again, Natalie. Let's get this over with. Alright, Timmy, here's what I'm going to offer you. If she is really great, like you seem to think she is, send me her number and I'll call her for you, absolutely free of charge. First, we need to talk about where this whole 3-day rule came from. It's common knowledge that back in caveman times, when a man saw a woman that he was interested in, the only appropriate thing to do was to club her on the head. Success rate back then for guys was much, much higher than it is today. After clubbing her on the head, it would take about 3 days for her to regain consciousness. Hence, an early form of the 3-day rule was born. Fast forward about 10 to 12,000 years. Today, the 3-day rule, in my opinion, is mostly defunct. I will say this though, not every girl out there is as sure of herself as Natalie is, for example. So, I would find the texting thing works in the right context. First of all, do not text her to ask her out. It can appear cowardly. What I like to do is say you get the girl's number in the bar. You're still talking to her. What I like to do then while you're exchanging numbers, I like to send her something while we're talking. You can save some quick texts in your phone. Something a little more joking like, stop staring at my ass. So she gets that immediately, sees that it's from you. Usually if she's playful enough, she'll either comment on it, or better yet, she'll actually respond to it via text while you two are standing there. Then you point out some observation like, look how incredibly lame this is. But what you've essentially done is you've started a conversation. That flirtatious process continues into the next day. After a day or two, the next day, whatever, you can call her. But because you've had this sort of slow building rapport via text message, when you actually call and talk to her, which talking to is always infinitely better than texting, then she doesn't see your number and immediately freak out and think, I was drunk, I don't really remember what this guy was like, I just remembered I'm not really into guys, whatever. If you use the text message not to ask her out, but to continue some kind of rapport with her from the moment you meet her, so that when she sees that number, she's already somewhat comfortable with you even the next day. Keep the text message part playful. You'll have a much higher success rate when you actually call her. Alright, that does it for us. If you have a question, feel free to send them to Nat, N-A-T, at twodaymag.com. And if you're lucky, or you send us money, we might answer your question on the next show. Thanks for watching.